That's a new kind of intro. Welcome, everyone. It is November 20th. I was about to say October. November 20th, 2022. Welcome to the Geekdom 101 live stream today. Why is the chat not up? Let's see. They're supposed to have a chat box up. You're supposed to have a chat box up. Let me move it up here. I don't see the chat box. Okay, we're going to have to put the chat box on screen here in just a moment. Welcome, first of all, to the Geekdom 101 live stream. I hope y'all are doing great today. We are 1 month away from the return of Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 88, starting the Dragon Ball Super Superhero arc. That's starting up next month. And we're going to talk about that, as well as we're going to talk about the rumored web anime. I put out a 43-minute video yesterday on the channel about, it was me and the boys in the Discord talking about what we want to see from it. Well, on this, oh wait, there goes the chat right there. It just popped up. Hold on, let me fix that, y'all. Did you see that? It just popped up. Okay, anyways, let me get back to what I was saying. So that was yesterday. So today I'm gonna get y'all's ideas on not only the web series, but also the return of Super next month. So a lot of stuff going on. I want to real quick talk about some sad news though. We've had a rough week in the world of geekdom, if you know what I'm saying. Literally geekdom. Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman from all the Arkham games and Batman the Animated Series, he passed away. And just last night, Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger, who later would become the White Ranger and the Red Ranger from Power Rangers, also passed away. So it's been rough, man, because, you know, here's two guys who really were a big part of my childhood. Even before I got introduced to Dragon Ball Z, I watched a lot of Batman the Animated Series and a lot of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And actually, Batman the Animated Series, yo, I just want to say, is a prime example as to why I hate the English dub so much. Like, that's why, because that English dub was so homogenized and the script was so butchered that it insulted us as kids. We were never that stupid. You understand that? That's what the dub did with their horrible script. Batman the Animated Series was a show that really, you know, it didn't insult children's intelligence. You know what I mean? And I wanted Dragon Ball to be more like that, because that's how it is in Japan. But very important shows. You know, I got into them before I even knew what Dragon Ball was, and I'm sure many of you did as well. It's a bummer, you know, especially with the story of Jason David Frank. That's tough. But I want to, of course, welcome you to drop super chat questions if you have some. I'm going to bring some people on to talk today with me. But first, what I want to do is let me transition off of this screen and let's go to the official Dragon Ball website, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, we're going to have some other voices joining us today shortly, but I want to first go through this information because you're probably wondering and trying to get more information about what's going on with this superhero arc. So first and foremost, if you are stopping by, please leave a like. I would really appreciate that. We have like 480 some people and we don't even have 200 likes. So please leave a like. It does help out the stream quite a bit. That is, of course, always appreciated. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button, obviously, because we're going to have a pretty ramped up month in December when it comes to Dragon Ball news. So here on the official Dragon Ball Super website, if you remember, y'all, when this website debuted a month ago, a year ago, over a year ago, a year and a half ago, you know, I had been talking about how they were planning on doing this and they were going to be dropping all kinds of information on this website. Well, we haven't had that much information, but we have had enough information from here a few times this year to make some newsworthy videos and, of course, articles. So this is the cover of the next edition of V-Jump, and this will feature the return of Dragon Ball Super, with the Dragon Ball Super Superhero arc. Now, what is the Dragon Ball Super Superhero arc? So based on the translation, I discussed it a couple of days ago from Cypher, it looks like what they're doing is they're going to adapt the Dragon Ball Super movie story into the manga, but before they do, they're going to have prequel elements. So you will have sort of the story before the story, the prelude to Dragon Ball Super Superhero. So the idea behind this, and if you've been subscribed to me for over a year, you guys know you're in the right place, because I've been fucking saying this shit for a year, that it goes Broly, Moro, Granola, Superhero. But it says that Superhero's the follow-up to Broly. It is, because there's no other movie in between. Of course it's going to be the follow-up to Broly, but it doesn't take place right after Broly. Moro does. So this whole superhero arc is going to connect the Granola arc to the superhero story. And then things are going to get even more exciting. I haven't even told you the good news yet. So they're going to tie things in. I'm going to go over what the official preview says for y'all today. We're going to be discussing the official preview, which is going to go into what Goten and Trunks will be doing. It looks like it's going to be a mostly Goten and Trunks centric story, and a lot of people have been wanting this. Let me know in the chat, y'all, if you have been wanting a Goten and Trunks, not necessarily a story arc, but I guess it kind of is one. Let me know how you feel about a Goten and Trunks arc. So let me know here. I mean, I didn't think we were going to ever see something like this for a while. I mean, I knew at some point we would, but it's a Goten and Trunks arc, and Gohan and Piccolo will be there. I mean, I've already made my prediction, which we're going to talk about today with you guys, but let me go ahead and get to the translation from DBS Hype. So what it says here, if you look right down here in this kanji that you see on your screen, what it actually says is, Dragon Ball Super Superhero arc for manga has been officially announced now. Trunks and Goten superhero illustration in high quality. Chapter 88 preview. Here's what it says. The chaotic half Saiyan duo will turn into heroes who protect the city. So it's going to be Goten and Trunks following in the footsteps of the Gray Saiyan Man. And maybe we'll have the Gray Saiyan Man pass his helmet down. Pass his helmet down to Goten and Trunks. So I think a lot of the early part of this arc will be, and this is just my speculation, I'm guessing a lot of more slice of life type of things with Goten and Trunks beating up on criminals. You're not going to have a strong martial arts villain in this arc at the beginning, because it's going to establish them as heroes. Now, what I would like to see, and this is just me as a Dragon Ball fan wanting this, I would like to see a Goten and Trunks mystery. I wish they did like a Scooby-Doo type of thing where they have to solve a mystery, and it's not just with them using their fucking hands and feet to fight. Dragon Ball will always give you that. I'm talking about maybe something like a Batman type of story where they have to solve a mystery in Satan City. Like, that would be cool. It's like something different, something we don't normally see. Who am I kidding? Dragon Ball's never going to get this cool, but I would love to see that. Now, I think the big moment coming up in the next chapter, let me go ahead and blow up this image of Goten and Trunks. First of all, I love that image. Trunks, I guess, now has blue hair in the manga as well, or maybe he already had it. I didn't pay attention. And they are wearing superhero outfits that very much resemble Gohan. What if in this prequel story, Dr. Hedo sees them and he's like, you know what? That 1 and 2 give me an idea, and that's how we get Gamma 1 and 2. I could see a lot of that happening, but what I think is going to happen unquestionably in this story is I think that the very beginning of the arc is where they're going to explain when, and show us maybe, when Goku and Vegeta went to go recruit Broly for training. On the Dragon Ball Super Superhero movie, in the movie, right, you literally see Broly training with them on Beerus' planet. We didn't see that in the Moro or Granola arcs. That's because now it all makes sense. The reason as to why they went to go get Broly is because they got one-shotted by Black Frieza and they need help. Makes perfect sense. Now everything ties together even better, if you ask me. And then, of course, we can try to see if we can make it all fit, because there has to be some kind of a time skip as well, because we know that Superhero is about a year before the end of Z. So we're approaching it. Now, let me tell you about the good news. Let me tell you guys about the good news. Here's the good news. Are you ready for the good news? Okay, the good news is that once the Dragon Ball Superhero arc comes to an end, right? Once that story is over, we're going to be in uncharted territory, because we're going to literally be within a year away from the end of Z. And at that point, we may get lucky, knock on wood, I hope it happens, that they finally decide to go past the end of Z and we can finally get the Oob stuff after that. Because I think it would actually make more sense if they don't even fight Black Frieza until after the end of Z. You know, the last 3 episodes of DBZ. So that's what I think. Let me get to some of these super chats, y'all. What's up, Danny? Glad to have you. Happy holidays. What would you want as a new arc in DBS? I want the Pride Troopers arc, honestly. But we're going to talk more about that, and I'm going to talk with you guys about your ideas for the web anime. Don't forget to leave your super chats, and I'll read them out. Trin's Page says, I would want an in-between arc on the buildup of all the weaker fighters, then leads to a world tournament on Earth that consists of no transformation tournament for Z fighters. I mean, they could easily tie that into the end of Z. Easily. I want to know when Goku is going to get his blue gi. That's what I want to know. When is Goku getting the blue gi? That's what I would like to know. Is this thing... Let me see if I posted this right. Okay, yes it is. Very good. Anyways, I want to know what happens with that story. So, Super Alvin Jackson, AATC Entertainment to you. So glad that it's not the Goku and Vegeta show in the manga for at least a little bit. Glad other characters like Goten and Trunks are getting shine. Amen, bro. This is not the Goku and Vegeta show for now. The Granola arc, the Moro arc was all about them. Let's go ahead and give other characters something to do. We've been wanting this for a long time. At least I have. You can't deny that most of you have been saying the same thing. So it sounds like they're finally giving us something to really, really dig into that we wanted. You know what I mean? And I'm not necessarily saying that the other fighters will catch up to Goku and Vegeta in power, but at least have them be somewhat relevant for the future. I'm really excited, y'all, that this is the next arc, because I was worried we were going to get like 2 more arcs and then they tied into Superhero, but it looks like whatever plan Shueisha has going forward, this arc is going to tie Granola. Look at me. Look what I'm doing right now on camera. It's going to tie Granola and it's going to tie Superhero together just like this. You see this? Just like this. Tune in Tokyo. Tune in Tokyo. That's what's going to happen, bro. It's going to tie everything together in a nice bow, and then we have a continuity stream. So let me get to more of these super chats. Thank you, Purple Bond saying. Rowdy's Retro says, how about an official Dragon Ball What If series? There's a billion of those on YouTube. There would be so many things they could explore, like what if Vegeta went Super Saiyan on Namek? I mean, YouTubers have already been giving us that for years, but I wouldn't mind seeing that, like a Marvel What If. I wouldn't be against that. Celerot, thank you for becoming a member and joining the UI Army. And you will be allowed in the Discord soon. By the way, if you're stopping by, leave a like, man. We got 281 likes and over 700 people. I want some more likes, okay? Ant-Man says, how do you feel about a future tournament? Strictly no transformations, just pure skill, technique, and teamwork. I think somebody else asked a very similar question. And I would like that. I actually would like it if... You know what would be cool, yo? What if we have another Tournament of Power, which again, I've talked about this before, but hear me out for just a moment. What if we have another TOP, right? But this TOP is no transformations. So Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, they can't use the beast forms. They can't use the ultra forms. They can't do anything. And the same goes for the other universes. That would be a much bigger challenge because without Ultra Instinct, Goku wouldn't have lasted as long as he did against Jiren in the first tournament. So without it here, he better figure out how to put it into his base real quick. You know what I'm saying? Wukong says, what's Danny? I guess you mean what's up? Hope all is well. I recently reread the Moral arc and something stood out in chapter 53 that may play a part with both Frieza and OG-73 in that chapter. He utilizes portal travel. I think I vaguely remember that, and perhaps that could lead to something that could lead to how Frieza discovers the dimension where the Room of Spirit and Time is. That could definitely lead to that. Cooking Dojo. Damn, it's been a while, bro. How you been? Justin, bro. Everyone's having babies around me, not just you. Seriously, bro. 3 people I know had kids in the last week. I'm not even kidding. You know why, right? Valentine's Day, bro. You know, counting back the months. You know what I'm saying? Cooking Dojo, just wanted to pop in and give my support. Interested to see what the next arc has to offer. I hope Black Frieza has a great build-up. I don't think we're getting Black Frieza until after Superhero. I think the training on Beerus's planet with Broly was them trying to beat Black Frieza. I genuinely now that it should be. That's what I think. And then after the superhero arc, folks, this is the last arc, and then we're going to get new stuff. We're going to get new stuff, and that's what I'm really excited about. Also, the web anime, what's that going to be about? If you have a theory on what you think the web anime is going to be about, go ahead and leave me your super chats, and we'll talk about it. We discussed several of them yesterday, so hopefully you guys liked a few of those. Wait, there's no sound? What the? Can you? Hello, hello, hello? Can you hear me? Oh, it's back? Okay. I don't know what happened. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Well, what I was saying was, I'm excited because now that we're going to get to the superhero story, when that's done, when that story is finished, then we're going to get new stuff. Then we're going to get new stuff. And I'm excited about that. Then we're going to get new and exciting things. Let me go ahead and bring some people in to talk to me. And of course, make sure you leave your super chats with me today. If you have any questions or if you want to talk about any specific thing. Let me go ahead and... I'm going to go ahead and bring JD in because he hasn't been here in a while. He's been trying to get in. He works all the time. Never gets a chance to come in. Hey, JD, you're live.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you haven't been here in a while, have you?
Yeah, I've been clubbing.
All right, bro. I'm going to club you in a minute, bro. Listen, tell me about what you think about the superhero arc first, and then we'll talk about the web series.
So with the superhero arc, I think originally when they revealed it, Cypher translated it as being a prequel to
It's a
superhero, and now
prequel that's
they're
going to go into superhero.
yeah. So it appears to be them. It's the same kind of adaptation as with Battle of Gods and
That's
Resurrection.
what I've been saying, dude.
Yeah. So, which is good because people who may have not liked the movie, maybe they thought it was too short, maybe there was stuff that was cut out. Like we know that there's Broly scenes, like from the trailer early on that did not happen in the movie.
Right,
So maybe
exactly.
we'll see that fleshed out. We'll see that fleshed
I mean,
out. And
it's like you said, it's no different than what they did with Dragon Ball Super. The Battle of Gods movie does not start with Goku picking radishes. He's already on Kaio's planet. That's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're just adding some extra adventures before we get into the official superhero stuff. It makes sense. Because if they just tell the superhero story, that's like 4 months, JD. We'll be done by April. They got to pad this out more.
yeah, and the one thing I'm excited about is now that we know why Goku, Vegeta, and Beerus and Whis and Broly are all, training, now we know it's because of Black Frieza. And guess what? Since now this is Toyotaru adapting post Granola, that means we can see Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego. Like we can see that with Broly.
We might see it, and then we might actually get that scene.
Oh, by the way, your mic's cutting out. Yeah, you're cutting out every so often. Hang on, I'm not.
Okay, can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Wait, I can't hear you. Hold on. Fixing some technical difficulties here, folks. We'll be done in just a minute. Hold on. Okay, hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. All right, now we should be good. Yeah, my cable on my microphone was loose. So that's what happened. I might have to move the chat over here. So what I was gonna say, well, you were saying about okay, you go ahead. We're talking about like what they're gonna add. Tell me what you think about the arcs, the idea behind this first of all, and what you want them to add.
I just want to see, specifically the Broly training. I want them to really like hone in on what Broly's future purpose is going to be, because it wasn't really. We know he's very strong. We know he's still trying to tap in and control his latent power, but I want to see exactly what like the timetable is with Broly's power. Are we going to see like a controlled Berserk Super Saiyan form? Are we going to see him tap into God Ki like a lot of people are theorizing? I want to see that.
You're saying you want to see more of the training stuff.
Yeah, I want to see that, and then I want to see this
Also,
whole Great Saiyan.
Do you agree with me about what I've been saying about how this whole thing, they're going to go get Broly because of Black Frieza? Like, this adds context to the movie that they're training with Broly specifically because they need to go 3-on-1 against Black Frieza. Does that not make perfect sense?
Yes, but I think in the movie they also said it was because they were afraid of Frieza picking up Broly, because Broly.
I don't remember them saying that, but you're right. They do mention him. But now we have more context. It's Black Frieza. Now they really got to worry,
Yeah, there was a flashback in the Broly movie, or it was like a little tease where it showed Frieza, and I believe it was Vegeta talking about when they were talking about Jiren and then the battle, and then the Gods of Destruction. Vegeta mentioned something along the lines like, "Oh, what if it was something about they were worried about Broly because of Frieza, because Frieza already was aware that he was back on planet Vampa and he was just going to keep tabs on him." So all this really goes back to is, again, Frieza. We know why. It's because now Frieza has a form. He's very strong now.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. That's my explanation for it. It just makes perfect sense. Leave a like if you're here, y'all. We got almost 800 people and only 362 likes, man. Come on, it helps push the stream out. Let me get to this real quick super chat that I think I almost missed it, from Celerod. He says, "I'm fine with the boys getting their own arc as long as they follow up on it afterwards, not pretending nothing happened." I mean, I don't expect the Goten and Trunks arc, and again, I could be wrong about this, but I'm not expecting this Goten and Trunks thing to be anything more than like comedic shit. I'm not expecting it to be anything too serious. Not till we see the Red Ribbon come back.
I did notice that on Goten and Trunks' uniform, they have the watch. That gives them like the helmet and everything.
Yep.
So they definitely have Bulma's technology in that suit.
Absolutely.
Maybe even Dr. Well, they wouldn't have Dr. Hito's, but
No, not yet. Not yet. That'd be
not
after.
yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the idea, I guess, we've got Saiyan Man 1 and Saiyan Man 2, which is Saiyan Woman. And I thought Pan would be Saiyan Man 3, but maybe, I mean, Trunks has a 1 on his belt, so they're probably going to get new names. It'll probably be Saiyan Man Tech, but it'll probably be new names.
There was one thing I noticed. I think this was Emish who brought it up. There was a scan that was posted about in Dragon Ball, and one of Toyotaro's the Phantom mangas he did, the one with Zycor. There was a scene where you have Goten, like Teen Goten, wearing the Great Sandman uniform, and he was fighting Zycor. So I really hope Toyotaro isn't pulling something from that, because you know how fans will react to that.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. What about this web series? So I've talked about this on numerous videos. All I've said to everyone is that there are 2 Dragon Ball projects that I've heard of are in the works. And then Anime AJ was the one that broke that one was a web series. I didn't even know that. And I've talked about that. And then DBS Hype on Twitter was saying, not DBS Hype, DBS 2019, that mystery account, was saying it's going to get announced in about a month. Well, now it'd be a little under a month. I haven't heard any of that. I mean, I have heard that they're working on new stuff. I mean, that I know, but I haven't heard about the announcement. But that does not necessarily mean that he's wrong. The question that I think most of us have now is, what is this web series going to be? What can this web series be? What would you like to see?
I've narrowed it down to really two big things. And I think you guys alluded to this back in your previous video when you talked about it with Jordan and
The one that you missed by an hour?
Yeah. I think it was Laser who pointed out, I think they're going to go in the direction of, they're going to do what Disney Plus is doing, right? It's no secret. I'm sure the Japanese are aware of how successful Disney Plus is with their streaming shows. And they want in on that. They know Dragon Ball being this cash cow giant, it can easily be put into that type of media format. And so this is a experimental thing. Like you said, everything's experimental that they're doing. They're going to go ahead. They're going to make, I hope they do something like a Marvel What If. Either Marvel What If or something like Tales of the Jedi. If they do Marvel What If, there's a lot more freedom because they could do, like, I think someone in the comments mentioned on this video, what if Vegeta went Super Saiyan on Namek? What if we get to see Goku Super Saiyan versus Mecha Frieza? What if we get to see, like, what if Vegito got fused or absorbed by Buhan and he did not have the barrier up? Like, we could see, like, what if scenarios like that play out like we saw in Xenoverse, but, like, you know, because they're going to be like 15-minute episodes, or at least
no, we don't know that.
Well, not 15. We don't know that.
Nobody has ever. Okay, let's clarify some things right now. We got not just you. We got to tell everybody. Nobody said that the announcement will be the web anime. It's just rumored to be. Nobody says it's gonna be 23 minutes or 15 minutes. That has not been announced. I saw a dude in the comment section was like, "These are supposed to be 23-minute videos." Nobody has specified not once how long they're gonna be. We do not know. We also don't know what it's going to be about. We do not know. We just know it's being worked on. That's the only information that's come out. I wanted to clarify that, not because of what you're saying, but I get asked these questions, and there's some dickhead probably on TikTok who's over here like, oh, we'll have 50 episodes and be 23 minutes long. Well, you know it's bullshit. So we don't know yet. We do not know yet.
Yeah. But Marvel, what if they could do that stuff, like you mentioned with like the Super Saiyan Goku versus Mecha Frieza, and we could also see stuff from the manga, Super's version of the manga. We could see Battle Damage Murasamasu versus Perfected Blue Goku.
I don't want to see that shit, bro. I don't want to see that shit.
I would like. It. I mean, I like that, but I mean, I get some people wouldn't.
I already saw.
That's
but
some
they
stuff
already
they
did
do.
that for the anime. Why would they animate the same thing again with a slight change? I mean, maybe in the Kai
we got to
era.
see Super Saiyan God. We got to see Super Saiyan God in the black.
They're not doing that.
Got to see
again.
Super Saiyan Goku Black.
They're
I mean, I'm just saying that's
again.
what they could do.
Nah, that's like, dude, out of all the ideas, that's like last on the list. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather get a fucking Pride Trooper show or a Hit show or even a fucking, what's the name of that fat chick again? What's her name again? Rib Rianne. Even a fucking Rib Rianne show, bro. I'd rather have a Rib Rianne show than have them retell the manga. That's just, we've already done that, you know? Real quick, I want to get these super chats out of the way because I need to get the rest of them here. Cool Rage X says, do you think Granola's dead around this time? No, I don't think so. Winterfell says, keep up the good work and cheers for the Fallen Ranger. Cheers. Hunter Cole said, do you think we'll get an explanation to Broly's Ikari form? We've already had an explanation, bro. In the fucking Broly movie, they explain it, dude. And you know what? I'm going to do you a favor. You don't have to go back and watch the Broly movie. Go to Geekdom 101, type in Broly Transformations Explained. Boom, it's all right there. So I just saved you the time of having to go through and comb the Broly movie when it's there. Celerot said, it'd be funny if they called it the Seiya Force. That's not a bad idea, actually. Zekin says, Beerus likes Sheila now and Broly x Sheila 100% happening. Has Tori already set up a Beerus versus Broly plus web anime? Well, maybe. Plus web anime for DB Legends. Web anime are usually promo. This is not going to be a promotional anime. I'm telling you right now, it's not. Well, okay, let me take that back. It might be, but it's not going to be like Heroes. And it's not going to be Dragon Ball Legends. That's like, they're not doing, well, okay, I don't think it's going to be like Dragon Ball Legends. They could do a thing where they take, like, you know, Shallot and tell a story. That they could do, but it's not going to be like Heroes. It's not going to be that kind of web series. Do you think this is worth a 4-month hiatus? I don't know if anything's worth a 4-month hiatus, bro. Unity, thoughts on the Namek arc? Thoughts on a Namek arc that expands the lore? I would like to see that. And then Israel saying God says MUI Goku, Ego Vegeta, Beast Gohan, Orange Piccolo, Black Frieza give me DBAF vibes, and I'm all here for it. Could the continuation be called DBZ Forever? No, because Dragon Ball, they're not using the Dragon Ball Z name anymore. Now, if you're talking about could the web series be called that? Maybe. I don't think they're going to use that name though. I don't think they're not using the Z name because the Z name was the old brand. You know, they don't use that anymore, except for some of the video games like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. So I don't know if they're going to do that for like a newer anime. I felt like they would come up with a different letter. Maybe I'm wrong, you know. Let me.
I really hope
they
do Tales of the Jedi, because with Tales of the Jedi, they could do all the stuff you want to see. With,
you mean like what I said yesterday? With the
because they'd be all character driven. You have like Universe 11 focusing on Jiren and Toppo. You could have Universe 6 focusing on Hit and the Universe 6 Saiyans. They could have character driven arcs like that, like Tales of the Jedi, and that way, and they would be set during the post TOP. So they wouldn't be expanding into like granola arc territory. They'd just be like the synopsis of every episode would be like post TOP, like what's Hit doing after the Tournament of Power, what's Jiren doing after the Tournament of Power. That's what I think. That's what they could do.
I would love that,
and I think it makes the most sense.
Let me know in the chat if y'all like that idea. Yo, also in the chat, I put up a poll here. Do you like Goten and Trunks superhero uniforms? I can't even. It didn't even. It fucked me up here. It kicked me out or whatever. I don't know why. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear.
That was weird. So are we still live?
So in the
chat, yeah, we are. Okay, I was worried there for a minute. Cool Rage says, "Do you think we'll see OG 7-3 again?" I thought that for a while, but I'm not. I don't think we're going to anymore. I think they forgot about that. I would like to see him again. What do you think?
It's possible Frieza could have picked him up because he did say it in that chapter that he was there for a specific target. And so what other thing of value would be there besides the Dragon Balls?
Well, I thought that was Alec inviting him is what I thought that was all about. Remember Alec invited him?
Yeah, but I mean, it just he remember he kept tabs on all of them and what they were doing.
Yes,
so he could have known about OG 7-3 through his reconnaissance.
Me and Opie are gonna do a video on this. We're probably gonna tape it tomorrow. And we're going to be previewing Chapter 88. So, finally, new stuff to talk about, yo. I don't know.
One thing I wanted to mention is that Goten and Trunks, like, as you can see that, they're wearing the Great Saiyaman uniform. Remember, in Endo Z and also in the Dragon Ball Online game, their future role is to be mentors. They're supposed to have a sword school and teach the next generation of Z fighters using sword play. So, I wonder if they're going to have swords in their like suit that they can like manifest from the uniform, like the transformation, because that's what they ultimately end up doing post or during End of Z, post End of Z, is that they eventually have a sword school.
Yeah, that's like in the future. That's like DBO shit. Actually, VJ Philogene in the chat is talking about what if the web anime is like a Dragon Ball Online Xenoverse 2 thing. But that's the thing, is the Heroes promo anime is already that. This is going to be something else. Like, I don't think this is going to be Heroes again. Like, I really don't think that's what's going on here. Like, not with the way it's being promoted, not with what I've heard. Like, I'll tell you what I've heard about Heroes. I've heard Heroes is going to continue. That Heroes promo anime and promo manga are separate from the productions of Dragon Ball Super's anime, manga, and movies. That's a whole separate, that's like a whole different division does that. Like obviously there's still Toei animators involved and production people, but the projects are two separate things.
Yeah.
Even though they're both Dragon Ball. Hunter says, my apologies, I meant more for Goku and Vegeta. Yes, I know what Ikari form is. I'm in a more detailed explanation with added lore. I don't know if there's anything more that needs to be explained about the Ikari form. It's just, all he did was take the 10 times multiplier from a great ape and contain it in its humanoid form. That's it. Like, there's nothing complex about it. There's no other big secret. I would say Gohan Beast is way more of a curiosity. Same thing with Orange Piccolo. Those are way more curiosities than, Ikari. Ikari is going to end up being obsolete anyways because when Broly tapped into that Super Saiyan and then he went Savage or whatever at the end, like that's going to be stronger anyways. They're trying to get him to control that power. Ikari is like an in-between thing. Ikari to me is sort of like and by the way, I'm talking about Broly's Ikari, not Trunks's. Ikari to me, Broly's version, Berserk, whatever, that to me is like what Super Saiyan Grade 2 and 3 were in Z. That's the way I'm perceiving it. They're used for a little while, but then they're not. Let me bring Anand in here. Welcome back, Anand. You're live.
Yo, what's up, bro?
Hey, let me bring Double A in too. Double A, can you hear me? Double A.
Yep, I can hear.
Okay, whoa, you're coming in way too loud, bro. Turn it down a little bit. Dude, you're coming in way too loud.
Sorry, I was just trying to mute you on YouTube to be able to hear. I had two different voices in my head. Future you and past you.
I understand. So let me. All right. Well, you were coming in kind of loud there. Sorry about that. If that went too loud, everyone. Anand, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm fine, bro. How are you?
I'm good. We just did a video yesterday on the channel. I wanted to ask you though. We already talked, you and I, about the web series. What do you think about the superhero arc?
Right. So as soon as they made their announcement, though, I was also surprised, but also not really surprised at the same time because when, because the way Toyota was kind of like loving the movie much more and more, that when he was literally saying in one of his comments that, he watched the movie like, I don't know, 10 or 12 times, that he wanted to, like, I probably made a proposal to Shueisha that he wanted to adapt the movie into a manga so that, one, he could explain a lot of stuff which probably Toriyama wasn't able to do. So
it's the tying into Granola. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't know if Toriyama would have more ideas for this movie like he had with Broly, because Broly was originally like a 3-hour script and they had to bring it down to like 1 hour 40 minutes or so just to make it accessible.
That was for the Broly movie, yeah.
Yeah, that was for the Broly movie, exactly. So where they had for the same movie, for this superhero movie as well, I'm not really sure. But if he had, then he could lay on all the stuff to Toyotaro and he could explain them in the manga.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't think I've look. I'm not gonna go into too much. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Okay. I don't think this arc is anything other than them connecting Granola to superhero. That's all it is to me, because there's no reason for them to do anything like this. With the Broly movie, that was a one-page splash, so we know the story happened in the manga continuity. With Resurrection F, there was a 3-part promo manga that never had a completion, but there is no Resurrection F arc as part of the Dragon Ball Super collected volumes. All we have is Battle of Gods, then it goes right to Universe 6 and barely mentions Resurrection F. So the reason as to why we're living in a different age now than what we were back then is because, if you remember, the Broly movie came out at the same exact time that the Moro arc began. It was right around maybe a month. It was like the month before, I think. Right then is when the Moro arc started. Now we're living in a world where they have to connect superhero to Granola to make everything, kind of streamlined. And then my presumption, not saying this is news, is when the eventual Dragon Ball Super anime comes back, the real one, then we're going to get the full manga continuity used like in anime form. So we'll see. Maybe I could be wrong, but it would make sense if we didn't see Broly, Moro, Granola, superhero, and what comes after. I'm more excited about what's coming after because we've got Black Freeza out in space. We've got Dr. Hedo now part of Capsule Corp. Like, they've set up things to where we could have some really interesting storytelling coming out of this arc. I know that I'm not trying to I'm not trying to walk before I crawl here, but I'm more excited now than I was before because we're going to go past this. I'm more excited about the arc after this than this one. And I'm not saying that this is going to be a bad arc, but you get where I'm coming from, right? It's new stuff.
It makes sense. It makes sense. But the thing is, there was a couple of people saying in the comments maybe could be filler. But the thing is, this is clearly a setup to the Earth's next generation of protectors, probably as Goku passes the mantle on them, so that he can concentrate on higher stuff like your multiversal and all this kind of stuff. Because
leave
the
the
thing
Earth
is,
in the hands. Leave the Earth in the hands of Gohan, Piccolo, Goten, and Trunks, and then Goku and Vegeta go into space. I've talked about this, bro. That's the right way to tell the story. Have an A story and a B story. That way, we always keep things fresh. The Earth is under attack. Gohan and Piccolo will take care of it. Oh my God, Black Frieza's on Namek. Let's go. I would like it if Dragon Ball did that, because then we have lots of different storytelling areas and aesthetics to go with. But Dragon Ball's they're doing that like that. Cool. Go ahead.
No, I think they're doing that with here as well, because see, now we know that it's Black Frieza's on the loose, so he's going to be the biggest threat the universe ever had. But at the same time, they're also coming back down to earth and see what these guys are doing in their, spare time, like how they're training, how they setting up as the next set of Earth's heroes as Goku and Vegeta get more high. And so they're coming to that, but not exactly at the same, like how in the Namek saga, they were concentrating on numerous perspectives while on being on the same planet. It might be exactly not like that, but they're coming to that in terms of arc-wise. So just to maintain a sort of a, perspective, I guess so. So, another thing I wanted to point out, I wasn't exactly surprised of seeing Goten and Trunks being in superhero uniform, because both of them were super excited of Gohan being like a superhero. Like, see, Goten, when he saw Gohan's uniform, he was like pretty excited.
That's right. When he was a kid,
he was pretty.
Yeah.
Exactly. Trunks was excited at the idea of Gohan being a superhero, but when he saw his costume, he was like, "No, Mom, I don't want that costume." Like, he legit asked Bulma, like, "Please make a costume for me." But after seeing that, he was like, "No, I don't want that."
I think that the Goku, Vegeta, Broly team would have their own adventure with Black Frieza, and then have something come to Earth, and they can eventually reunite. I just wanted to say that, but yeah. You were saying about Goten and Trunks. Real quick, I got to get Double A's thoughts, but real quick, what were you going to wrap up with the Goten and Trunks thing?
So, basically, they have these ideas of superheroes way back in the past, and they're getting fleshing out right there. And they literally, they're also, seeing... taking inspiration from like a brotherly figure which they have seen from the past. For example, Goten, he's wearing the cape just like how Gohan wears as the Great Saiyaman, and Trunks is wearing his his cape, like how future Trunks did, like in a scarf wise. So they're literally looking up to their brotherly figures, so to speak. So let's see how it goes.
All right, Double A. What do you think about this arc, the superhero arc, and what's your idea for the web anime?
Well, I think what's going on with this upcoming arc is a good idea to flesh out stuff that wasn't in the movie, to be able to tie in a lot better. And plus, we didn't know back then that, well, if Vegeta had Ultra Ego way back or not, because it was coming out before then.
Okay.
But I think for my thoughts on the web anime, but one anime to be maybe web or just regular, it might be just a look at the universe.
The question is, that was my question is, it's not going to be the continuation of Super just yet. It's something else. What do you think it'll be, or what do you want it to be?
I think it'll be something like see other characters in different universes, like Universe 11, 6. At least give us some more characterization for Jiren, Topo, Hit, see at. Like do origins for
orgies, bro. You want to see orgies? Is that what you just said? Did he just say you want to see orgies?
No, Origins for like hit because he's over 1,000
Oh,
years old.
Origins. I thought you said you wanted to see orgies.
No, I am not into that crap at all. Okay.
Well,
Let's
I
keep that
am, buddy.
straight.
No, I'm kidding. Origin stories. Okay, I thought you said I want to see Jiren and hitting an orgy, bro. I was like, oh, well, I don't know if we're gonna see that. I'm sure there's some
Dojins.
I'm sure there's art out there. Which, by the way, you know, people in the chat are saying you sound like Android 16.
I don't think I do, but it's just.
You do kind of sound like the dub 16, bro. I can only kill Goku.
Yeah, I never heard that, but then again, I don't really get my voice compared to other anime characters. So
other anime characters. So he's admitting that he's an anime character. I mean, compared to other anime characters. All right, let me bring in some people who are waiting here. Hey, Laser, you're live.
Oh,
Laser was here
I have
yesterday.
been thrust into the future.
Yeah, by a couple seconds. We got the
Pretty
dog
much.
with the watch around his neck from Back to the Future. Hey, but you already talked with us yesterday about the web anime. So, what do you think about the superhero arc? This Goten and
It's
Trunks.
about time we got something that wasn't Goku and Vegeta. I am hyped.
Yes. Does everybody agree in the chat?
Oh yeah.
No, well, I mean in the chat, but what do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Like seeing other characters being fleshed out other than just the main characters sounds pretty amazing because the other cast of Dragon Ball is like, I guess probably since Z they've not been as hyped up, let's say, compared to Goku and Vegeta in the fandom. So seeing these two specifically as the main characters, something definitely the fandom was looking at.
It's just funny because how long did people keep talking about how they wouldn't grow? We were hearing this shit going
forever.
back to the Trunks
Oh
arc.
God,
Like 2016, bro. Oh, they never grow up. Well, they're growing up now, bro. They're teenagers, bro. You know what that means, bro.
Stories.
You know what that means when you become a teenager. Y'all know what it means. Dun, 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 dun. That's what that means.
I was actually thinking of that though, because in the end of Z, right, they're like so interested on who they were about to date, like after this tournament was over.
I want there to be a gag where, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I don't care. I want there to be a gag where Bulma finds porn in Trunks' computer, bro. That's the gag that I want. That's what I want to
That would be great.
I want her to find porn in his computer, dude, in his history.
Like grandfather, like grandson.
Of my.
That's what I want to
I can
see,
just hear
bro.
her screaming, "Trunks!"
Torankasu.
It was better if it was Goten and Chi-Chi because that be
Oh
even
no!
What?
Bro, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? What the
Basically-
fuck is this guy saying?
Basically, I was trying to say.
only kill Goku.
But imagine if Chi-Chi found porn in Goten's computer.
Oh, okay. I thought you were implying that. I thought you said that the porn that Trunks had was of Chi-Chi and Goten. That's what I thought you said.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, see, that's a whole other, buddy. That's a whole other can of worms there. I don't know if I'm with that one. I don't know if I'm with it. I remember I saw a picture years ago of Leonardo and Michelangelo from the Turtles making out, and I was like, this pisses me off. Not because it's gay, because I don't care about that, but because they're brothers. I'm not into all that, bro.
Dojin artist be write that down.
Dojin, bro. Anyways, Laser, you said it's about time. Go ahead.
It's about time. One of the best things about Dragon Ball Superhero was that we got to see some focus on Gohan and Piccolo, which, always good to see. And now we're kind of expanding that in the prequel for Goten and Trunks, and they also need some of that focus, and maybe we'll get some good character growth for them. I really hope we do.
I had a feeling they were going to do this. I had this weird feeling that when Black Frieza was introduced, that he wouldn't just be the next villain. When they said that he trained for 10 years, that's a situation where to catch up to him in one arc, I feel like would be almost as bad, if not worse, than how Ultra Instinct kind of became less valuable after the TOP, which is how I feel about it right now. And I think if they just surpass Frieza in the next arc, it's gonna kind of piss me off. Like that's the Black Frieza storyline is one they have in their back pocket. Like if they're gonna open up story threads and keep things more non-linear and keep things more open-minded, I feel like the Black Frieza threat should be looming in the background while they're dealing with something else. I also like the idea of Black Frieza being kind of somewhat of his own man. Not necessarily killing Goku and Vegeta, but not working with them unless absolutely necessary against a greater evil. I like the idea of him having his own faction away from everybody else. That's just me, though. What do I know?
No, I would agree. And I actually think that they clearly set up for that because... if they wanted to make him the immediate next story arc, why would he just let them live? He just like, yeah, I beat you. Bye. I'll take care of you later.
It's a weird thing, bro. Jordan had an explanation, but Jordan's explanation are very Jordan, if you know what I mean. But I didn't think it was that realistic. Recon Spartan 01 says Bulma going to find pics of herself on Trunks' PC. What is wrong with you, man?
What is wrong?
Bro, when you got Double A wondering what's wrong with you, you know you're out of line. And then Celerot says, we find out Trunks gets his point from Roshi. I think you meant to write porn, not point. But...
probably a good thing he wrote point, because porn probably wouldn't go on YouTube.
Huh?
Probably better to say point than porn for YouTube.
Oh, I see. Well, I mean, but I couldn't even tell it was that. I just assumed. Maybe he did mean to write point. I'm just assuming that's what happened. I don't know for sure if that's really what happened. So, but yeah, to kind of reiterate, I do like this idea of this connecting Granola to Superhero. And like I said, I'm actually more excited for what happens after. The only thing I'm somewhat thinking, and maybe this is not something that, is true. It's just kind of me thinking about this. I feel like we're not going to get an anime return of Dragon Ball Super until the superhero story's been told in the manga. Now, I could be wrong. I could be totally off on that because I don't know how long this is going to be. Because I feel like if they're going to adapt the superhero, even with extra stuff, that's only about a year's worth of chapters. That's like 12 chapters right there. You know what I mean? I don't see the superhero arc being that long. But if they want to make it episodic to where every month Goten and Trunks face off against a different villain for a few months, it could end up being 2 years. I just feel like it's not going to be that long. I don't think it's going to be that long of an arc. What do you think? It's probably going to be short. It's going to be shorter than Granola and Moro, I think.
I think they might have an intermediary threat. So, like, starting the adventures off with Goten and Trunks doing the Great Saiyaman stuff, it'll probably culminate in a Red Ribbon Army like level threat. Maybe they have a crazy android that they try to create on their own using the remnants of Dr. Giro's technology, and so maybe it proves a formidable.
Dr. Who?
Huh?
Dr. Who?
Gyros.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute.
Dr. Gyro's technology.
About a different show now? Go ahead.
I think that would be a way to give it more story padding, have Goten and Trunks, maybe even fuse. Maybe they do end up doing one successful fusion against this android that maybe the Red Ribbon has created. It could be an android or it could be some kind of big, machine monster thing.
Well, it's going to be Cell Max. I mean, that's going to happen at some point.
No, I mean, like, so we know that Dr. Heat, we know that Magenta and the new Red Ribbon Army, they had access to Dr. Gyro's technology. They were trying to emulate and create Cell, but they couldn't because
they had
just beyond
better technology.
Yeah. So what we could see is their attempts at making their own androids before the events of like the superhero stuff actually happens.
Yeah.
So that's how that could be like the bridge.
More like you're talking about more prototypes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got you. I asked the chat right now. Go ahead and vote. Do you want to see Perfect Cell Max this time or not? I'm telling you right now, yo. Remember these words. Remember these words. We're not going to see Perfect Cell Max. I don't think they're going to change that. I don't see them changing that story.
I don't think Toyotaro will do such a thing that would change what Toriyama actually wrote. I don't think he's going to do that.
I don't see that happening, but I'm asking if people think it should happen. I feel like if we're ever going to see Perfect Cell Max, DBS Chronicles said it will be a short arc, not like Granola. He doesn't know that though. That has not been revealed yet.
It could lead to like
it probably is going to be shorter. Movie confusing. It probably is going to be short. No, what I was going to say was if the only time we're ever going to see Perfect Cell Max is if it's an arc down the road where something happens where they have to make another one. I just don't see that being a change they're going to make. Now,
they would has a lot of traumas. I don't know. The cell design could have a lot of trauma to Gohan, Android 18, and these guys. So I don't know whether they'll use that design.
I mean, I would like to see it, but I don't think we're going to.
Yeah.
So, Celerot says, we find out Trunks gets it. Oh, I already read that. Lucario says the new Dragon Ball Trunks special will be called The Porn History of Trunks. That's pretty brilliant. Mecha J says, think we'll see Gohan as Gray Saiyaman again and team up with Trunks and Goten. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to see Gohan as Gray Saiyaman again for the entire run of the Goten Trunks adventures, but I do think we're going to see Gray Saiyaman again for a little while. That was the one thing about Dragon Ball Superhero that legitimately surprised me, that we didn't get a single mention of Gray Saiyaman. I'm not saying that Gohan had to be the Gray Saiyaman in the movie, but I'm saying they could have had the costume in the background. You know, Piccolo could have told Pan a bedtime story about Gray Saiyaman. There's a lot of things that they could have done to squeeze that in there as an Easter egg, and we did not see it, and that's weird. That's weird. There's a Dragon Ball Superhero movie without Gray Saiyaman.
That's what I thought. I
understand that because even in the anime also, I remember those filler episodes where Gohan was, starring in a movie. The movie was called, I guess,
the two-part episodes. Yeah, where they were clowning on Batman versus Superman.
Exactly, because that movie was legit. That the ending of that episode was legit teasing Gohan versus Cell Max there, because that in that episode, I guess Barry Khan also becomes like a kaiju of sorts. And that guy who was trying to record that video, he was saying that this is going to be like the best film made in history or something, which is kind of like reminiscing of how Toei kind of promoted this movie. Like, this is going to be the most talked movie of 2022, something like that. So it was like good parallels.
Right. It's just like a self-parody, but in a weird prophesized kind of way. Priestess Lucy says something interesting. Priestess Lucy says, Cell Max nucleus escapes and hijacks Cell Jr. equals perfect. So I guess the idea is the Cell Max nucleus survived the explosion in Superhero, and it goes into a Cell Jr., and that evolves that Cell Jr. into perfect Cell Max. You know what? That's a very JRPG ending kind of thing right there. Like when you play a long JRPG, that's the secret true final boss. You know what I mean? That's how that comes off. I actually like that idea. I do like the idea of Cell Max's nucleus hijacking Cell Jr., but it wouldn't work because the nucleus still has no brain. So, he has a brain, but it's not developed. So, but I do like the idea, though. Like, the idea in itself, I like. They would have to do some pseudoscience explanation for it. So, yeah. Any other ideas about the web anime? Because that's one where I think a lot of people aren't really sure. And because there's just not much information. There's nothing. Does anybody who wasn't on the podcast want to throw in their 2 cents about what they want to see in the web anime or whatever the non Dragon Ball Super anime is?
What I'll say is that if they go down the route of it being like a Tales of the Jedi kind of thing, where it's character driven focus, if it does take place around characters like Hit or Jiren or other characters like that, the good thing is that they can keep doing those stories, and when the anime comes back, it won't interfere with that main storyline because it'll be taking place outside the universe. So like they can have that running like another series running on, but without interfering with intricate plot threads. So that's another reason why I think that could be the direction that they go, because they can keep telling stories about Hit or Jiren and other unknown or even new characters from the other universes that didn't participate in the Tournament of Power. They could do all of that without it affecting Black Frieza arc or what else will come afterwards.
Let me ask you a question. You said you heard the podcast from yesterday. What did you think about my little like brainstorm session where I said that this could all be a test to see if they can have Dragon Ball without Goku if something happens to Nozawa? Like, if they can get another character over to be a main character, like a Jiren or a Hit for their own show, they can continue Dragon Ball without the Goku, Gohan, and Goten. Just stories in the Dragon Ball universe. Do you think there's something to that?
I think you're right, because I mean, it goes back to what Toriyama said about End of Z. Like, once we get to End of Z, where we have Goku with the blue gi and he's training Oob and all that, he didn't want to go beyond that because he felt like the stories would be boring. They're too old. Goku,
which we know is not true. They're much more powerful now than they were before.
But that's what he thought. So he thought carrying the story afterwards, after that, it just wouldn't. It would pale in comparison to the bigger threats that they had prior to all that because of how strong they are. And I think that's what they're sort of trying to do, is they want to have Goku reach the very limits of strength, and maybe that culminates with beating Frieza if Frieza becomes like a universal threat. And then once that happens, then Goku's need for being in the main story is over with, because he's so. And if he ever was introduced, he'd be almost like a Deus Ex Machina.
I mean, I think you're right. I told Jordan this idea I had, which I might actually make into a fan manga. I don't have any aspirations to be a fan manga artist, but I did have this idea of a new Dragon Ball story taking place thousands of years later, like way down the timeline, like past even Dragon Ball Online, where Goku is just a myth, like a legend. Goku and Mr. Satan, because it's got to be those two. They're just myths, sort of like what they tried to do in Force Awakens, where even though Force Awakens was dumb because it was like 30 years, the knowledge was lost in 30 years with that kind of tech. It will eat a dick. But in Dragon Ball, it's like, 200 years after Dragon Ball ends, and Goku's just this myth, and his bloodline's been so diluted that they don't even know that they're members of Goku's family. And that could, his blood, and that could lead to something down the road. Like, that'd be a great little, reboot for Dragon Ball if it's, way down the road. Like, separated from this universe. That way it doesn't interfere with, any of the stuff going on now.
And they could, what they could do? I just realized, bouncing off that thought, if they, at the end of the superhero version of the manga, what they could do is to tie it into Z as well. Remember, Gohan will eventually have to write a book on Ki, right? And and that's the focal point of how all the other, the human race, the android race in the events of Dragon Ball Online and Xenoverse with the whole character creation.
A bunch of stuff.
That'll lead to that kind of stuff. Maybe the events of Superhero with fighting Cell and realizing that they can't rely on Goku and Vegeta anymore, that adds credence to why Gohan wants to become a scholar of Ki and to basically help prepare the future generations of Earth, along with King Kai's assistance and all that. So they could do that. They could totally do that. And that's a great idea, Geekdom, with the Goku's lineage being diluted.
What I want? Let me tell you what I want, bro. I'm going to tell you my dream Dragon Ball episode. When I say manga, we're saying episode, right? So, remember when Super was on the air, we had that great baseball episode?
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun.
What I want is a 2-part episode where Universe 7 challenges Universe 11 to a football game. And we see the Pride Troopers with their uniforms on, wearing the fucking football helmets. And then the Universe 7, we're talking about American football, by the way, not soccer. And they play a fucking football game, and we see wacky powers. That would be my dream Dragon Ball. No fighting. There'd be some tackles, but no fighting. Just a football game. Yeah, that's what I want.
Jiren will be a disgusting linebacker.
Dude, he's massive. He is massive. He'd be the center. He'd be a center.
Man, on this. Great.
Toppo would be the center, definitely. How dare you?
Can you imagine him
injustice beings?
Cleric or Kieric says, do you think we'll see Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, Broly, Whis, and Beerus training on the planet at some point in the future? I think for this football match that I'm talking about, I would love an episode where Krillin is the coach. See, that's what's going to make it awesome. Krillin is going to be the coach. He's not going to be in the matchup. And Krillin will be the one to teach Goku and the gang how to play American football. That would be some of the best shit, dude. I need to take over fucking James Gunn, bro. I wish I would take over Dragon Ball, bro. If I took over Dragon Ball, bro, it'd be the biggest franchise of all time. Since Star Wars has pretty much been gutted by Disney, we're gonna try and take over it. So to answer that question, do you think we'll see Goku, Gohan, blah 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 blah? I hope so. I hope so. Andros, the Warrior High Alpha. What a name, bro. Your mom fit all that in the birth certificate. He says, "Holy greetings, geekdom. I'm very excited to see Goten and Trunks having the spotlight for the first time." Well, it's not for the first time. They had the spotlight in the Bio Broly movie, which I know you love so much, and they had the spotlight in the middle of the Buu arc. The wait was worth it. I enjoyed the superhero movie. It was phenomenally cool. Wolf out. All right. I always love it when somebody leaves a comment and it's like some fucking it's like some like catchphrase, like wolf out. Like, all right, bro. He must think he's a hero or something. So
what?
Yes.
Wasn't Trunks a focus of movie 13, the last one before the 2013 movie?
Yes. He was Tapion's like best friend and shit, which was basically supposed to be a relationship. That movie works because the entire subtext of the movie, which was probably lost if you've only seen that movie dubbed, is that Goten and Gohan have this big brother little brother relationship, and with Tapion, that's what Trunks got, because Trunks does not have a big brother like Goten does. So Tapion becomes Trunks' big brother. That's sort of the story that they were going for with that film. And I really like that because there's an emotional there's like an emotional, realistic current in that film that nobody ever fucking talks about, because all they want to talk about is Goku fucking turning into a dragon and this fucking kaiju battle, when that movie actually has some real subtext in it. Not to mention that Studio Ghibli helped with it. Eat my ass, huh? Hey, so Anthony Murchison says, what do you think about an arc with a fusion like Gogeta or Vegito? Well, we've never seen that before. Somehow they get stuck together and have to finish the arc fused. I don't think they're going to do that, bro. I think that they came up with the Potara splitting thing, the time limit, specifically to not have to deal with that again. You know, the Dragon Ball Super retcon that I didn't like. You know what I'm talking about? Anyone?
Yeah, it was a very odd choice to give that a time limit when it didn't have one in Z.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, for me, it was kind of like, at least it was an explanation rather than saying, oh, Boo somehow caused it for them to split up, even though there was.
Oroko's says, do I have to super chat to find out what his favorite bird is? Here's my favorite bird right here, bro. All right, go ahead. Here's my favorite bird right here. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was saying, like, in Z, like, they just assume that, okay, Boo's, like, inside of Boo has something to do with the split, even though they said it was permanent. So at least because Shin, it kind of makes sense logically, because Shin doesn't know exactly like how these things kind of work, because he's just abruptly put into this position because the Fat Supreme Kai, like, is absorbed. So he probably didn't know that. So Goazu knowing about these intricacies kind of makes sense. So I don't know. For me, it's like,
I got a question. What do you guys think? Do you think now that they're not going directly into a Black Frieza storyline, do you think that might be the plot of the 2024, 2025, the next Dragon Ball movie? Do you think that's what they're saving it for?
I don't know. I think I feel
that's
like,
what I'm leaning in.
I feel like, look, when the 2022 Dragon Ball Super movie was first being talked about, a lot of people in the community were saying it was going to be a moral arc adaptation. And that's not what it was. I feel like the only way that's ever going to work is if they have an anime ongoing and we already see Black Frieza. I don't think they're going to introduce manga elements into a film. I mean, they might. I can't say they won't. I don't think they're going to introduce manga elements until they've been scoured out worldwide, which, again, that's sort of like the issue right now, is not everybody reads the manga. But I think whatever the 2024 anniversary movie is going to be something totally different. What I'm genuinely hoping for, ladies and gentlemen, this is legitimately how I feel. The 2024 Dragon Ball theatrical movie, it needs to be the first story after the end of Z. That's what it needs to be. That would
be really cool.
It's the anniversary of the manga starting. The manga story ends, and we kick it off with the beginning of the next generation, whatever that may be. That's what I think they should do. I think it makes the most sense poetically, and I'm a genius. It's like what Rush Limbaugh used to say a long time ago. The views and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of mine, but they ought to be. That's how I feel about Dragon Ball sometimes. Kayon Lewis, I thought I said crayon. He says, in all honesty, who really gives a shit about Goten and Trunks, like, for real? Tired of these plots corny as fuck. Well, tell me what you want to see, bro. And I swear to God, if you say some shit like Raditz coming back to life babysitting Goten, bro, you're out of here. You are out of here, bro.
No, it's going to be Super Saiyan 4, bro. Come on, let's put the hype.
Super Saiyan 4 Broly or Granola having UI, bro. You're not allowed to say that shit, bro.
Oh.
Hey, JD, do you think we'll ever see... Honest, this is a genuine question. Do you think we'll ever see Granola again? Because I think we will.
100%. They would have killed him off if otherwise.
I think Mirrors... And I talked about that in the video I did a while ago. I think Mirrors and Granola will be seen again at some point. Same thing with Zuno. I think these are characters that are going to be around. Maybe not necessarily in a big role. It could be a cameo appearance. But they're not going to just forget about him.
Remember, Granola's not part of the Black Freeza arc, honestly.
I'll never forget how when Broly happened, there were people who, because everybody knows everything. There were people saying that this was the end of Dragon Ball, like that the Broly movie was the end. In other words, that we weren't going to get anything else after the Broly movie, and that was going to be the end of the story. That was in 2018. And then when the information came out that Broly did survive the movie and Frieza survived, I'm like, okay, they can't possibly end the story here with Frieza and Broly being out there. Like, Broly being out there is one thing because he's got like a girlfriend now and, he's getting pussy and he's not really a problem. As long as he gets that, he won't be rampaging out. And but Frieza being alive is a problem. I don't think they're going to end Dragon Ball without Frieza eventually getting killed off one more time. I just don't see that happening.
Right.
Or erased, because he's too dangerous to be left alive in our world.
Yeah, bro, that's a fucking episode 3 line. He's too dangerous to be kept alive, bro.
Honestly, I'd love to see him actually.
You want to see Frieza go, I am the Senate. Huh?
The Senate. I want to see him pull that gag for Resurrection after he gets like, welcome back, and just hear him scream again.
Who?
Frieza.
Oh.
Want him to die, go back to hell, and have those fairies welcome him back one more time.
That's going to be a great scene, bro. That's going to be a great scene. That's going to be a great scene, dude.
Oh, yeah, I was just thinking about one thing. I just want to ask you guys as well.
Yes.
Like, since Trunks and Goten, since they want to, since they're having superhero attire and everything, would they also in the future, this also happened in one Dragon Ball anime as well. Would they join the Galactic Patrol in the future after this?
I would not be against that. I really wouldn't, because that's a place where you can actually be a hero and make a difference outside of just the Earth.
Right. I mean, you can see a lot of possibilities with them if they join Midas' army and see, Midas is what you say his team, so to speak.
Let me tell you something. There's a marketing genius in the chat right now. The next series at the end of Dragon Ball Super should be called Dragon Soul, and that would be great. So your genius idea is to have a Dragon Ball series not called Dragon Ball? I'm sure that'll work out. I'm sure that won't confuse anybody. Sorry, you have to have the word Dragon Ball. Right. Frozen Kingdom says, are we ever going to be properly introduced to Oob? Yeah, buddy, fucking read the last chapter of the manga. I don't know what else you're looking for unless you mean more backstory. He's already been in. He was introduced in 1995, bro. D White, so late to the stream. Motherfucker, I saw you earlier. Don't lie. For the web series, would like them to explore the lore a little more. Did you see what he just did, bro? Did you see what he just did?
A little bit of alliteration there.
No, that's not alliteration. That's triple rhyme. So late to the stream for the new web series, would like them to explore the lore a little more.
Or a little more is the only part I copied. You're right. There's more going on in there.
Explore the lore a little more. Did you do that on purpose, motherfucker? Like events that took place during the series never explored or visit other universes and see how they deal with issues. Kay and Lewis says, if it ain't about Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, Broly, or Beerus, I'm not interested. It's their fault. That's what they turned it into now. That's all we care for. So you're saying you're not even gonna give it a try, bro? Listen, bro, don't give me no bullshit. You're gonna be like everybody else. I'm done with Dragon Ball for a week. And then you're right back in, fucking right back invested, bro. You can't quit this shit, bro. You can't quit this shit. You're too addicted to it, bro. It's like quitting Dokkan, bro. I seen them kids in the playground, bro. Motherfucking, when you get hooked on pixie sticks, that's like getting hooked on Dokkan. Yo, man, you got some Dragon Stones? You got some Dragon Stones? Fucking crack, bro. Crack babies on this Dokkan shit. But you knew that's going to be the case, bro, when you do one of those world, you know the Dokkan World Tournaments, bro? You'll sit there and you will grind a world tournament for 8 hours straight. You will not let go of your phone, bro. You go to sleep for an hour, you wake up, you're in last place again. That's how it is in that motherfucker, bro. That's how it is in that motherfucker. Oh, that's funny to me.
We might see Toyotaro in this rendition of superhero. He might literally, like how he always inserts dialogue.
Hey, hold on. He admitted it. He said, "I'm addicted, but I'm gonna talk shit the whole time." Hey, that's fine, bro. That's like the rest of the fandom. The rest of the
that
fandom
is most of Twitter.
That's most of Twitter. Yeah. Oh, Toyotaro really did it now. And then a week later, oh my god, it was so genius. Or my favorite, the granola arc sucks. Oh wait, totally not Mark liked it. The granola arc rules. Fucking. Swallowing another man's testicles, bro. Fuck that. Have your own opinion. Or you have two choices to succeed in life. A, you have your own opinion, or B, you follow mine. The second one will get you further, I'm telling you.
But I totally expect to see like if they flesh out the Goku, Broly, Vegeta training, I could totally see Toyotaro having them fight Beerus in that arc, in the same arc. And it will, it's gonna create a power scaling disaster. Watch.
Yeah, it's already a disaster, dude. But you know what? I hope it goes
Dragon
somewhere.
Ball's always been a power scaling. Well, not always,
Not
but
always,
for a long time.
from like the Buu arc up. From the Buu arc up, it has.
Yeah.
It could also like confirm I remember you made a video a long time ago saying about, not long time ago, a while back, saying that whether Broly could have God Key infused in him and he could have something equivalent to Super Saiyan Blue.
I shouldn't do
So
that
if they're going to
today.
train him with...
No, go ahead, bro. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was thinking about something.
Okay, so if they're going to train Broly in that line, so he could definitely get infused with God Key where that could not only calm him down, but also like...
Yes. Well, Kayon, it's funny because in the chat, Kayon is he's talking about how Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, Broly, or Beerus is all he cares about, and then we have Priestess Lucy who says Goku and Vegeta are so boring now. Anyone is greater than Goku and Vegeta. I mean, I see the points of view. That's why I think the best, most logical thing. By the way, thanks for the super chat, Justin Sullivan. The most logical thing they could do right now is to go and separate the people. Have Goku and Vegeta and Broly be in space, and then have Gohan, Goten, and Trunks and Piccolo be on Earth. If you have two stories going on at once, they don't have to interfere. You don't have too much of a power creep. Things can stay dramatic. That's the way to take Dragon Ball going forward. But they're not going to listen to me. What the fuck do I know? What do I know, bro? No, but DBS card game, new SCR for Gohan. Huh?
Good storytelling, apparently.
I think that'd be a fresh way to do things. Only my
I agree.
opinion.
I think that would actually be really cool.
I want to actually put something on the screen with real quick for y'all. So that's my address right there. If you want to send me anything for the holidays, I do a stream. Usually on Christmas, I'll do a stream where I will discuss I'll open up presents live on here and whatnot. So if you want to send me something, that's the P.O. box right there. It's up to you. I saw some other YouTuber did it, and I did it last year. But I will open up your gift and thank you here, next month. Because next month is the holidays, and you know how that is. If you missed that, it's going to be in the description down below. So, I think we're going to get out of here, yo. Does anybody have any final predictions on the Goten and Trunks thing or on the web series?
About the Goten and Trunks thing, I would see, like, because it has to correspond to End of Z. Because at End of Z, they're not that much interested in fighting, I guess, because they're like, I have to participate in the World Martial Arts Tournament. They like that. So I'm just curious to see how that would tie up to End of Z. Well, right now they're pretty much interested in being superheroes. Another thing I would like to see how Toyotaro handles the whole conversation between Goku, Vegeta, about Jiren, though, because the whole meditation aspect, about the whole meditation aspect they mentioned in the movie, which was kind of controversial. So I want to see how Toyota handles that in terms of to see how Goku can realize, okay, Vegeta is not actually sleeping or wasting his time, is actually doing something useful.
I'm just happy that Dragon Ball Super is back. By the way, I want to tell y'all, a week from yesterday, which is next Saturday, I will be uploading the longest video in the history of my channel that's edited. It's over an hour long. The androids explain the history of every android. It's done. It's going up next Saturday, aka the day after Black Friday. 6 days away, and that's going to be a hell of a video, and I think y'all are going to enjoy it because we're going to talk about the androids in explicit detail in a way that nobody else has ever done before. This will be the greatest android video ever made on YouTube, and it's going to be very difficult to top because I did a lot of homework. On this one. So that's coming up next Saturday. And I've got also coming up down the pipeline, I've got the Moro Strongest in Dragon Ball video where we're going to examine his magical warlock power. So that's going to be a good time, bro. That's going to be a good time. Yes, rest in peace, Jason David Frank. That was a bummer to find out last night. And apparently I found out before the family did. I didn't know that when I first tweeted, because I got a phone call from somebody who knew him, and I tweeted it out because I was in shock. I was like, what the fuck? And then later on that night, it's like, well, I don't even know if the family knows. And then so I took the tweet down, but it was confirmed by TMZ today. I was certain that it was true because I got a second source on that saying that he did it, that it happened. But it came out official today. It's a bummer, bro, because that dude was mad young. And the fact that it's suicide, look, man, I understand going through depression. I understand wanting to take your own life. I get it. Listen, I get it. I've been there. I have been in situations where I want to check out. It happened. And I just want to tell y'all, if you ever feel that way, if you ever feel like you want to check out, man, talk to someone. A therapist would be the best, but if you can't afford it, there are some suicide prevention hotlines. Talk to a friend, and I mean a real friend. Don't just talk to somebody on the internet. If that's all you got, that's all you got. But it would be most helpful if you can go out to Denny's or some shit with somebody. They can hang out with you. That helps relieve stress if you can be in contact with someone. Class Clown says, why y'all keep thinking that they have to keep EOZ intact? They can change stuff. Yeah, they could, but Toyotaro himself said they were going to not change anything, but they've already kind of changed things without actually changing anything. Adam Schroeder says, Big D, how do you feel overall about Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z English dub? That's all I've ever seen of the two series. The English dub is terrible. It's got a horrible script, and if you've only seen Dragon Ball in dub, you've never really seen Dragon Ball. And I know some people have a hard time accepting that, but it's the truth. And if you don't believe me, watch the entire thing in Japanese start to finish, and you'll be like, holy shit, this is a totally different experience. All you have to do is, if you want to call my bluff, go watch it. Go watch it in Japanese. That's all you got to do. And you'll enjoy it. And you'll eventually realize, holy shit, this shit's fucking butchered. Even if you miss the music, even if you miss the voices, it's the script that we're talking about. That's the issue. So anyways, folks, we're going to close out. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We're going to knock this one out. I appreciate y'all. And I'll be back tomorrow night with a new video starring Jordan. And he'll be here. And thanks to you guys also for joining me. All y'all. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Thanks for
being here, bro.
Good to be here.
All right. I'm gonna close out. Take care, y'all. And we'll see you in the future. Peace out.